You're welcome to Business Daily on Trust TV. I am your host, Chamon Dabeng. Let's talk numbers. We're starting off with the stock market as of 6 a.m. this morning. You're welcome back to Business Daily. My name is Chamon Dabeng. Now, it's been a few weeks since the launch of Africa's first digital currency, the E-Naira, which is basically an electronic version of the local Naira currency. Now, it's equal in value and issued by the central bank. The E-Naira is not intended to replace cash, but function as safe and efficient alternative means of payment. The E-Naira comes in two different versions, one for individuals, which is the Speed Wallet, and other for merchants, which is the Merchant's Wallet. Now, the coin was launched on the 25th of October 2021 by President Muhammadu Buhari, and within its first 24 hours, the E-Naira Speed Wallet application recorded over 100,000 downloads from the Google Store. Now, according to the Assistant Director of the Central Bank of Nigeria, more than 488,000 people have downloaded the consumer wallet that's needed to transact E-Naira, while about 78,000 merchants from over 160 countries have enrolled. Now, we actually hit the streets to find out what Nigerians think about the E-Naira so far, so let's have a look-see.
And like the entire world is now presently, like what can be described as a global village, we really believe that before the federal government come up with any policy, they should ensure that they put their houses in order to avoid what they call the invasion of Yahoo boys. As I know, the last time that they came up with this E-Naira launching, it is pathetic that at this point of our level of enlightenment, Nigeria as a country or the government have not been able to put their houses in order.
Of course, a lot of Nigeria are trading on cryptocurrency, and it has profited a lot of people in Nigeria, because cryptocurrency, you can trade on it, you can decide to put your money there, and the naira to dollars fluctuate, you make a lot of money. But compared to the E-Naira that Nigeria introduced, the CBN introduced, they said it's empty as the real note naira that we have. Then you have it there, you have a wallet that you have to convert the money into. Then you want to make a transfer to somebody, the person does not have a e-wallet. How do you make transfer to that person? It becomes an issue.
Right now, sometimes the education matters. Once you explain to people, because you don't just get into a business which you know nothing about, you understand? But when you're well informed, you now choose a path to where you belong, because no one wants to put in his money where he is not sure of, you understand? Now, I think in the world of crypto, it has been announced, we've been educated to some extent, you know, it's not everybody's market, you understand? But to an extent, I would say crypto right now is working out. But if that same assignment that was done from the initiators of the crypto can be replicated in our own setting, the Nigerian whatever you say is E-Naira. I think we'll buy the idea, but it's a gradual process. You don't just force it into people, but as evolves, people keep following.
All right, joining me in the studio to discuss the E-Naira so far is blockchain enthusiast and lawyer Usman Isatu-Chukwu. You're welcome to the show. And I also have public affairs analyst Jide Ojo. You're also welcome to the show, sir. Now, we actually hit the streets to find out what Nigerians thought about the E-Naira so far. There've been a few different reactions from different people. Now, but let me ask you guys in the studio, what are your thoughts on the E-Naira so far? Like I said earlier on, about 500,000 people have already enrolled to the E-Naira. Now, looking at our population of over 213 million, would you say that this is moving in a timely fashion or it is going too slow?
Well, E-Naira for me is part of the central bank's cashless policy, which has been on for about a decade now. Recall the days we used to pick tiny numbers to go to bank and transact business, and then the internet banking came, use of debit card and all of that. So this is just a step higher, and Nigeria is the first country in Africa to launch this E-Naira. It was actually meant to be launched on 1st of October, but it has to be postponed for like 3 weeks to perfect every plan. So thus far, 500,000 Nigerians. You need to approach this with cautious optimism. People don't know how this will pan out. I have not downloaded the wallet. I'm also trying to
trying to gauge the situation.
Yes, the situation, because yes, it's a welcome development from all indication. Many Nigerians don't know that there is what is called cash management, even by banks. Look at the risk of carrying cash all about. Bullion vans from point A to point B. In many instances, they've been attacked. They've been, lives have been lost. People have, attacked people's home and all of that. So now, with E-Naira, is electronic transfer, and the so-called choice of managing cash. I said on another platform, many of us never realized what banks go through to manage that paper currency that we hold in our hands. If you don't handle it well, it has the tendency to be mutilated, to transmit germs. I saw a video clip of somebody who stole huge sums of money, kept it in a locked enclosure, and the money went bad. Could not be spent. I don't know if you saw it. But that's to tell you what banks go through managing cash. But with this now, you are getting the value, you are getting the value of your cash in electronic form. So you can do, I can wire you money and you can send me, or we can transfer business without necessarily exchanging cash. And so this, for me, is an idea that will add value to our financial inclusion bid of the central bank. The central bank has been, angling for financial inclusion, particularly of the suburban customers, people who are in hard-to-reach environment, so that they can also be integrated. And this E-Naira, to the best of my knowledge, is not like depending on internet. It's like you are sending text message from one point to another. So it's helpful, and it makes room for financial inclusion. Like I've said earlier on, banks will have less stress in managing cash. Then even the issue of deductions, what's it called? This money they deduct from us, banks, service charge or something, that will be eliminated. So it's more cost effective for users of this. But all of this is more on paper. We need to wait a while
to actually see the functionality of it.
Exactly.
Because
so that's why a lot of Nigerians are exercising cautious optimism, asking people if you have downloaded it, how has it worked, and all of that. So, but I think it's something that we should commend Central Bank for initiating.
All right.
Well, like Mr. Jide has said, I want to toe a different line. Having outlined the advantage of E-Naira, we have to also look at the disadvantage, especially looking at the fact that most Nigerians did not get the gist before the launch. Otherwise, the ideal thing to do would have been to enlighten Nigerians on the coming of E-Naira and what they are supposed to know before the launch. But they just went ahead and launched the E-Naira. For example, the E-Naira is to be transacted on blockchain technology. When you have the app, the E-Naira is launched on the app, and to move it out, it has to go through blockchain. Now, the E-Naira has no value. It's just a medium of payment. Yeah. You understand? Now, for example, you go to...
Well, it has the Naira's value,
yes,
the actual Naira's value.
You go to a normal a restaurant dealer on the street, and you finish eating rice or any other food there, but you don't have cash. You have E-Naira wallet. What are you going to transfer to the woman? She doesn't even understand what you are talking about. So I don't know how the situation is going to be. Or you have about, let's say, 100,000 Naira in your E-Naira wallet, and then you happen to die tomorrow, God forbid, and no other person have access to your wallet. What happens to that money? Who is going to be accountable for the money? Who is going to own that money? So these are issues that surrounds the E-Naira, and we've not come to address that. And then when you look at also E-Naira as a means of payment, you know, the majority of Nigerians are those who are into trading, those who doesn't have access to, you know, formal employment. They are informally employed. And those that are informally employed are not even on the know about blockchain. Talk more of the E-Naira. So how do they have access, you know, to this E-Naira to be able to ease their payment? All
right. So last week, the central bank ordered that all Nigerian commercial banks to freeze the accounts of certain individuals for purportedly trading in cryptocurrency. Now, this was contained in a no-post debit circular signed on November 3rd by the Director of Banking Supervision, Mr. J.Y. Mamanad, and he addressed this to the banks. And it says, you are hereby directed to close accounts of the underlisted bank customers and place the funds in the account in suspense accounts for engaging in cryptocurrency trading in contravention of CBN Circular BSD/DIR/PUB/014/001. Now, this was dated February 5th, 2021. Now, this crackdown that the CBN has actually been on for accounts that have been engaging in peer-to-peer transactions. Now, it has actually resulted in a 43% decrease in Nigerian peer-to-peer transactions. Now, Nigerians accounted for around $9.4 million in weekly peer-to-peer volumes. Now, this was followed by Kenya and South Africa, who accounted for nearly 2.8 million and 1.8 million respectively. Now, taking a look at this clampdown, I mean, at the beginning things kind of died down a bit, but the moment that the E-Naira emerges, it's like there is a new reinvigorated clampdown on these accounts. What do you think is the reason behind it?
I think, with all due respect to the CBN, the Federal High Court has laid to rest this particular issue, that the accounts, those frozen accounts of the people trading on cryptocurrency should be unfrozen, because CBN circular cannot be amounted to a law. It's not a law, it's just a circular. And then that should not affect people, you know, trading on their account. And the fact that they are trading on cryptocurrency have no any clampdown on the E-Naira that's just been launched. E-Naira is not tradable. It doesn't have any value when you place it to dollar and other international currency. So I find no merit for such a closure. And for those people whose account has been has been shut down as a result of the peer-to-peer trading, they could go to court to seek redress because now they have an authority to rely on since the Federal High Court has sat on the matter. And I'm not aware that the matter has gone for appeal as it is. Yes.
Well, it's pretty recent. It just started last week where these accounts were frozen.
They can go to court and seek redress because the Federal High Court has made a pronouncement that the circular that came from the CBN is not a law and should not be adhered to restrict the account of individual trading on cryptocurrency. If they want to make it as a law, they should go to National Assembly, let them pass a law that anybody who trades on cryptocurrency in Nigeria should be banned. And I think it's very unfortunate that when other global clients are moving forward on blockchain and cryptocurrency, we are back here clamping down on people trading on cryptocurrency. Nigeria used to be one of the top countries.
But Nigeria is not the only country that actually has some sort of restrictions on cryptocurrency.
Yeah, but when you restrict people from some of those countries that have restricted their citizens from trading cryptocurrency, does not restrict them from trading. What they restrict them is their financial institutions. They should not help them to facilitate. They didn't block their bank accounts. So that's the difference. Why are they blocking our bank accounts? If the bank say they are not facilitating, and then we'll go back to peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer has no direct access to the bank. It's just like what they call, what is it called? Trade by barter. You have Bitcoin, I have Naira. I give you my Bitcoin, you give me, Naira. That's how it is done via peer-to-peer. And they are now coming back to clamp down on these guys. How do they want them to survive? I mean, Bitcoin has been one of the easiest means through which young, youth of Nigeria get employed. Not to talk about, how these guys have been finding ways on how to survive through the means of, trending global technologies. It's very unfortunate to clamp down the account, and they can seek redress in court.
All right, Mr. Jude, we have a few minutes left. Let's hear from you.
Well, for me, CBN is on the right track. All these things that we're talking about, how many Nigerians have been probably educated on blockchain technology or cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all of this? Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, 99.9% of Nigerians are still illiterate on these issues. So we need to weigh the advantages and disadvantages of this cryptocurrency. You see, when I read about the CBN, why CBN asked PND to be placed and post no debit to be placed on those accounts was because all those firms were not registered. They were illegal entities. So you don't want an illegal entity to start operating, trading in something. If you want to do your blockchain transaction, take it out of the banking sector. You need to understand, Nigeria is facing a lot of insecurity. And what has been discovered is that it has gotten to a level that people who are being kidnapped are being asked to pay in Bitcoin. You understand? Because they don't want to be tracked. Those who are engaging in, and then when you are paying the transaction, they don't want the transaction to be tracked to them. So somebody, okay, I want 2 million naira worth of Bitcoin. Where do I source it? Is this something you get at the parallel market, or you go to Wuse and get? Then there is also the angle of, illicit financial flow. This has been one of the major concerns of CBN, that this cryptocurrency encourages illicit financial flows. There's something called ransomware. You understand? It happened in US early this year, where Russian hacker allegedly hacked into the database of Colonial Pipeline. For some months, they have to take their database offline. And those Russian hackers were asking for payment, the ransomware, in cryptocurrency. So these are some of the disadvantages. Yes, I understand the job creation angle and all of that, but we need to hurry slowly. One, we need a lot of education and sensitization.
All right, Mr.
on
Jide,
this.
sorry about that. We actually don't have enough time. That's all the time that we have for today. But let me quickly thank my guests in the studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Jide and Mr. Tochukwu, for being a part of the show. And to all our viewers out there, thank you so much for watching. Come back tomorrow for more Business Daily. Let's talk numbers.